Alright guys, we've got a very interesting one. This is most recent. It's a death battle, but who's it with? It's Ghost Rider versus Spawn. Marvel versus Image Comics. Ghost Rider is a no pushover, but when you look at Spawn's feats, you know, he can definitely hold his own fighting wise. But abilities, Ghost Rider does. If they're gonna go all out, they're gonna give Zerathos to Ghost Rider, and I forgot the Angel form is, but that to Spawn. And if they give that to Spawn, that's what's gonna make me go for them. So I'm gonna have to listen because I love both characters because they're badass. So let's go. Coming up. Okay, this is gonna be sick. It's time for a death battle.
Ghost Rider.
Sorry, I just had to make sure everything's caught
versus Spawn.
The Spirit of Vengeance versus the Dark Angel of Armageddon.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death
Here
battle.
we go. Who are we going up first? Ghost Rider, I'm guessing?
Johnny Blaze has always been a man possessed, chasing the thrill of certain doom by performing death-defying stunts, following the example of his adoptive father, Crash Simpson.
Until the day Crash lived up to his name and got cancer, heartbroken, and without enough Wampa fruit to save him, Johnny turned to the only thing that could: chemotherapy.
The devil.
Oh!
To cure Crash's cancer, Johnny sold his soul to Mephisto, king of the 8th layer of hell.
Only for Crash to actually live up to his name right after.
But instead of scooping up Johnny's soul, Mephisto had something else in mind. He bound Johnny to an instrument of divine wrath, Zerathos, the Spirit of Vengeance.
There we go.
So Johnny Blaze lived up to his name and burst into hellfire. An undead skeleton biker with a sick-ass hug. The 5th scariest Nick Cage performance. The stuntman from hell. He called himself the Daredevil.
Sorry, Johnny, that name's taken.
Okay, then how about the Ghost Rider?
Sure, we definitely didn't forget that we named a character the same thing only 5 years earlier. All you.
The Ghost Rider was bad news for Earth sinners and scumbags. He's strong enough to pull down skyscrapers, blow up mountains, and cause earthquakes that can be felt across whole countries.
Don't even think about fighting back. He can remake his whole body from the hellfire that engulfs him, making him immune to all physical damage. Only holy weapons that target his soul can harm him.
It's not just his body. His whole arsenal is hellfire. Ghosty can create anything he can think of, from an infinite stream of chains, a shotgun packed with fiery rounds, or a flaming missile barfed right out of his mouth. Life goals.
And he can imbue other objects with hellfire, such as his Hell Cycle.
Oh, this badass bike can outpace Thor's hammer Mjolnir, which can cross the universe in seconds.
Hellfire is a weapon in and of itself, whether shot out of his hands, raining down from the sky, or released from his...
his boner, Wiz. Get it?
What game is that?
And it doesn't just scorch flesh. Hellfire is so deadly, it can burn away your very soul.
This technique would be mastered by Johnny's successor, his own brother, Danny Ketch.
Oh yeah, Johnny's not the only Ghost Rider, and Danny was the first to master their most famous move. You know, the one that burns your soul to smithereens with just a look. The Penance Stare.
The Penance Stare inflicts upon its victims every ounce of pain they ever wreaked upon others. Every cruelty, no matter how small or righteous, is reflected back. A biblical punishment.
Obliterating your soul! It even works on other Ghost Riders, like when Johnny and Danny got into a staring contest and Danny actually depowered Johnny.
Eyes are windows to the soul, so the Ghost Rider must be able to match his victim's gaze for the Penance Stare to work. Some people have survived it, like the Punisher supposedly because he didn't regret his actions, but it did work on him on other occasions.
Well, Johnny can adjust how deadly it is, and it doesn't necessarily have to kill you. He can use the stare to read minds, force you to confess info, or just show you the error of your ways.
Remember, the Ghost Rider is 2 souls in 1 body, with the kinder Johnny battling the demon Zerathos in a war of control.
Classic Faustian bargain. All the power in the world, but if you want it, it uses you. Because if Johnny gives in, the demon's full might will take over, and then everything is screwed.
Zarathos' strength is boundless. He can open up portals between dimensions, control the elements, pen and stare an entire city, and fly all the way to Asgard, which is a literal infinite distance away.
He's manhandled some of Marvel's heaviest hitters, like Thor, World War Hulk, and Doctor Strange.
I thought
Hell,
as well,
Strange
Breaker.
said Zarathos is a threat to all realms, mortal and immortal.
Hyperbole? Think again. The Archangel Zadkiel said that the power of the Ghost Rider could threaten all of existence, and even bring down heaven itself.
Right before an army of Ghost Riders did just that. Yeah, an army. The spirits of vengeance
And he
are
became
legion.
the
As
king.
far back as the Great Flood, humans have been bonded to the vestiges of God's power to act as his divine wrath on Earth.
He got
A
insane
sort of
power after the
heavenly
throne
Black
and
Ops.
Okay, wait, does that make Zarathos an angel
forgot his
now?
name
or
now.
is he still a demon?
Both? Neither? Despite being one of the greatest entities in existence, it's unclear. What we do know is that
Mephisto, that's
ages
it.
ago,
No, I
Zarathos
forgot
feasted
his
on
name.
souls and battled Mephisto for rulership of his realm. Mephisto, ever the trickster, claimed victory and gained control of
Yeah.
Zarathos forevermore. Hence how he could bond him to Johnny.
But Zarathos got his revenge against that big red bitch with another Ghost Rider, Alejandra Jones. Bet you wish you had one more day to fix that hole in your chest, huh?
Comic book fan punching bag though he may be, Mephisto is unbelievably
Well and
powerful.
truly.
A battle with him could cause omniversal Armageddon, fitting as his fight with Galactus rent the cosmos asunder.
And Galactus's fights can destroy all of Marvel's infinite multiverse.
Wow.
That's the kind of awesome power at Zarathos' disposal. Total cosmic
I bet you they're gonna
annihilation.
downplay
So it
him
was
now.
no surprise when Johnny went down to the underworld and took Hell's
Yeah.
throne for himself.
And had a lot of power.
Usurping the devil that ruined his life and finally grabbing destiny
Are you gonna
by
go
the
by
handlebars.
Scoring the total power of hell
Yeah.
itself, plus a sick-ass upgrade, the Damnation Stare, which skips the whole every pain you've ever inflicted thing and just sends you straight to hell. No shot.
As they say though,
There was more.
uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Johnny began an obsessive crusade to capture all of Hell's escaped demons. But by using his new power to damn them to hell, he began absorbing their evil, feeding off it, and it corrupted him. Once again, Johnny Blaze was a man possessed.
In truth, Johnny was just as trapped by hell's power as he'd always been, and he needed Danny's help to pull him out of the darkness.
Though he gave up Hell's throne, the Ghost Rider continues his war against demons without and within, mentoring his fellow Ghost Riders in the ways of vengeance, always prowling the highways for the evil and the profane.
An unstoppable engine of judgment that, with just a glance, could make Galactus himself shit his pants.
Maybe one day he'll find salvation in the eyes of one of his victims.
Cause they sure as hell won't find any in his.
God damn.
This battle is sponsored by Robin Hood
So
Gold.
now we're going for
With
Spawn.
Robin Hood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a
I have a
3%
feeling they're going to
IRA
go
match on
hard on
retirement
Spawn
contributions.
because
The privileges
He's
of the
got a
very
lot of
privileged
power,
are no
but-
longer exclusive.
I don't
With
know, they
Robin
don't
Hood
feel like
Gold,
you
your
went
annual
off
IRA contributions are boosted by 3%.
into Ghost
Plus, you also
Rider.
get 4% APY on your cash in non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any network.
The new gold standard is here with Robin Hood Gold. To receive your 3%
Yeah,
boost
come
on
on.
annual IRA contributions, sign up at robinhood.com/gold.
Investing involves risk. Rates subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match and must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Okay, carry on.
If Al Simmons
Yeah,
was one
here we
thing,
go.
he was a killer.
A lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army and the CIA's most decorated assassin, Simmons upheld democracy around the globe at the barrel of a gun, painting the third world in red,
It
white,
is so
and blue, but
tragic
mostly
what
red.
happens.
Until his final fateful mission when, per his boss's orders, Al was fired.
The burning was only getting started because Al's immortal soul was on a one-way trip to hell.
Where he cut a deal with Malvosia, the big, naked lord of the 8th Circle of Hell.
By their pact, Simmons would be reborn a Hellspawn, a superpowered commander of Hell's armies, in exchange for seeing his wife one more time.
Oh, buddy, you're just asking to get monkey's pawed.
Al Simmons returned from the dead as a decaying zombie 5 years later, after his wife had already remarried and had a daughter.
There, you saw her. Now get back to work, bitch.
Thus was born the undead warrior from hell itself, Spawn.
He's so 90s that he comes all the way back around to being the coolest thing ever. Look upon his edge, wizard, and despair.
Spawn would violently defend New York's downtrodden, while slowly uncovering the full breadth of his demonic powers.
He's like a walking superpower encyclopedia. He can fly, teleport, turn invisible and intangible, move things with his mind, make force fields, control the elements and the weather, and even stop time. Speaking of time, he can fly so fast, he literally breaks into other dimensions and smashes time as a concept.
He can manipulate matter, shape-shifting his own body or transmuting other objects and people. He can even control and absorb your soul.
Wait, Wiz, if he can rearrange molecules and crap, why doesn't he just fix his uggo face?
Well, he tried to do that, but Malbolgia cursed him so that he could only make himself...
What the hell?
Oh, it's petty trolling like that gets you
Nothing wrong
thrown
with
in
that.
hell.
To be fair, Spawn can achieve a similar result with illusions and mental manipulation. He can read and control minds, implant and replace memories, or
Alright.
simply drive you
Here we
mad.
go.
Spawn can do all of this crazy shit because he runs on necroplasm. Basically, hell juice.
You're not wrong. Necroplasm is the energy that makes up hell itself. Al's undead body is composed of 400 pounds of it.
He can wield it like an energy blaster empowered by the sins of others. Spawn can absorb your evil and feed off of it. By simply walking on Earth, Spawn feels all of humanity's pain all at once.
He's even absorbed the sins of 8 million New Yorkers instantly,
million?
cleansing them of their evil.
Like Jesus?
Or he can do the reverse and make you experience the full weight of your own sins, feeling every bit of pain you've ever inflicted on others over your whole life.
Like some sort of penance.
Though
Oh.
Spawn's necroplasm comes with a catch.
Yeah, he's got unlimited amount of this
Yeah.
stuff, and it drains every time he uses his powers. If he
Here's the
runs
thought.
out, he's
I-
dragged back to hell.
Even depowered, Spawn can rely on his elite
Hey, oh,
military
yeah.
training and hand-to-hand combat. He's even fought Batman to a standstill.
And as befits his past profession, he loves his big-ass 90s guns.
Though his greatest weapon is the sentient being he's genetically and spiritually bonded to, his cloak.
It gets
Letha of
more
the 7th House of
extreme
K.
now.
You ever wonder why his cape's red? Nope, well, now you are, and it's red because it's made from the apple Eve ate in the Garden of
What?
Eden. It's literally made of original sin. Oh, and also the souls of a million sinners, including every one of Hell's victims. Also a touch of vampire for good
What the
measure.
hell?
K7 Letha is constantly evolving. It can act independently to defend Spawn with an infinite stream of chains, transform into weapons, or drain people of their power. It is the most potent weapon Hell has ever created.
It even helps Spawn beat the primordial dark god Urizen, who can destroy and eat your soul with just a glare.
Except the souls bonded to Spawn acted as a buffer, allowing him to survive.
You'd think with an arsenal like that, he'd be unstoppable. But Hellspawns have a weakness to holy weapons and can be killed permanently if decapitated by one.
Though Spawn has managed to survive this in the past. No, Spawn's greatest weakness is his own... how do I put this? Stupidity.
So Spawn fought this angel lady, Angela. Great name for an angel. She had this dimensional lance that could wipe Hellspawn out of existence, and Spawn got it. But instead of, being cautious around a mysterious angel weapon that hurts him, he just had to push the big shiny button and activate it on himself.
And so,
Oh.
Spawn was forever destroyed.
What?
Until he reconfigured reality to undo his own
Oh,
existence.
of course.
There we are, good as new. That has to be the first time we've seen someone accidentally kill themselves and survive.
On his quest as Hell's greatest warrior, Spawn has defeated a serial killer ice cream man,
Oh,
a demonic
God,
clown, and even his old boss remade by Heaven into an
What the hell?
anti-Spawn.
Oh.
He's even encountered other Hellspawn.
Killing bad guys might seem counterintuitive if you work for a Hell Lord, but it actually just adds more souls to Balbogia's army. An army Spawn would have to lead in a war with Heaven that'd kill all of humanity.
Because the reason Malbolgia chose Al to be his commander wasn't that he was some great warrior. It was because Al had proven that he was the best at taking orders.
All his life and all his death, Al was nothing more than a hired gun.
Aw.
But he knew it, and he would do so no more.
So Spawn marched down to hell and ripped Bulbosia's head off with a scream so loud it echoed through all of reality.
Jesus.
Spawn became the king of the 8th circle of hell.
As king,
Here we
Spawn
go.
is literally a part of hell itself, gaining access to an unlimited pool of energy that increases 100-fold with every heartbeat. He's
Divine
effectively
Spawn,
omnipotent in
that's
there,
it.
and strong enough to challenge other hell lords like Mammon and Satan.
He got so strong, the only thing left was to finally resolve the war between heaven and hell.
But Spawn needed help from the being who created this
Yeah,
god
that
and
old
Satan
woman.
to begin with, the mother of existence, Gaia.
She wasn't cool with her kids being total assholes, so she appointed Spawn to be the universe's savior.
By eating the fruit from the tree of life, Spawn became truly divine, capable of battling God and Satan in a stalemate for eternity that extinguished all life on Earth.
And each of them are powerful enough to create and control infinitely sized universes.
Spawn broke the stalemate by letting God and Satan destroy him, only for Gaia to separate the two from the reality they threatened.
Then, just like that time with the Lance, Spawn respawned and recreated the Earth. Poof, good as new.
Finally freed of the weight of heaven and hell, Al asked to be reborn as a human. But he knew in his heart he deserved to carry on his undead penance in perpetuity.
He's a creature of the 90s, Wiz. He won't be happy unless he can angstily brood over the injustice of his own
Exactly.
existence.
Though if you threaten the alley he calls home, beware, because Spawn will turn whatever's left of your life into a living hell.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Spawn's gonna win
This battle is sponsored by DraftKings
Oh no, I don't like
Casino.
If the slots are or
doing
Do
draw
a
that.
spin,
wager
Pass
immediately on
it.
Draft
I don't
77 or Michigan, New
like
Jersey
gambling
customers will
ads,
see terms
so-
59 are set, and we've run the
Here we go. I'm sure Ghost
All right,
Rider's
combatants
gonna
are
put one
set, and
hell of
we've
a
run
show,
the data through all
but Spawn, I
possibilities.
It's
feel
time for one hell
he's
of a
gonna get
death
the final
battle!
hit in. Alright, here we go. Come on. There he is.
Nights like these drive men insane. Brimstone in the air. Something's
Yeah.
coming. If it wants a piece of me, there'll be hell to pay.
Ghost Rider.
Go back to the pit you squirmed from, Hellspawn.
Make me
Oh, that's cool. Come on. Go. Damn.
If you care, it's nothing personal. Vengeance calls.
This is so good. I love this song.
sloppy. You fight like a
Oh, tell him.
You've earned your death.
Yeah. Oh god, the timer. Oh, you messed. Ghost Rider, you messed up. It's infinite. Oh my god. It's over.
welcome to hell.
Oh. Hey, is that Sans? What the hell? In the truck there's Sans from Undertale. Xerathos! Ah! Will Divine Spawn come in? I would just heard that as well. Get over here, Scorpion. Oh my god! Yeah, it's Divine Spawn.
The vestments of the holy cannot disguise your wickedness. God forbid.
Go! This is intense! Oh my god! I love this! Oh! Yes! I love the back and forth. Oh no, no, no!
Al Simmons, your sins are innumerable. I am here to wreak vengeance upon your soul.
No. Oh no.
I eat sin
Yeah.
for breakfast Have a taste of your own goddamn medicine.
GG's! He's reverting it back at him!
Lies. He's the Prince of Lies. Wait, I'm an innocent.
Oh my god, that was sick! All the penances back right at him. Oh my god.
It's like you said, nothing personal, asshole.
Oh my god, that was so good!
Oh, God damn!
Literally. This was a nail-biter
Yeah.
battle that pitted Ghost Rider's immeasurable power against Spawn's skill and versatility.
That's what I mean,
Let's
he's
break
no
this down into
pushover
4
Ghost
categories.
Rider.
First up, power.
But neither is
Divine
Spawn.
could match God and
Yeah.
Satan, who could create universes.
That's it.
Similar in scale to Ghost Rider's bouts with a lot of the powerhouses in Marvel.
But Zerathos
Here we go,
was
here we go,
different.
yeah.
Remember, his power can match that of Mephisto and Galactus, who can threaten all of Marvel's infinite
Infinite.
cosmic reality, far greater than any cosmos Spawn has ever affected. Even though Spawn's battled and defeated Satan in more recent comics, implying he's retained a level of power similar to his divine form, he couldn't match Zerathos in power alone.
Ghost Rider may take power, but remember, Johnny actively resists Zarathos' influence, so Spawn may have had time in the fight to learn and adapt to Ghost Rider before he went full Blue Fury.
And Spawn definitely had the edge in skill.
Yeah.
He spent decades in military combat and is a master
That makes
martial artist,
sense.
whereas Johnny more so relies on his invincibility.
The ultimate dream
Spawn.
power for a stuntman. Even with his crazy powers, Ghost Rider was a lot more direct than Spawn, pretty much entirely focused on attacking the soul.
Which doesn't bode well for his versatility. Spawn can stop time, manipulate matter, turn intangible, control minds, warp reality. The Ghost Rider had a much more limited arsenal by comparison. Spawn had a huge advantage in this
I would have
category.
said
So, with
split.
his invincibility, way greater power, and the ability to scorch your soul to nothing, Ghost Rider could score the win through brute force, right?
Not exactly. The last piece of the puzzle is their resistance.
Oh, here we go.
Who was harder to kill?
They're gonna do the one with
constant
Danny,
mainlining
aren't
of
they?
humanity's collective sin and pain meant he could survive attacks on his soul, including the penance stare.
Here we
just
go.
like he resisted a very similar attack from Urizen.
Best of all, remember the time he rewrote reality to undo his own inexistence?
There was nothing the Ghost Rider could do to overpower that. And that time with the lance wasn't planned, it was purely instinctual. He could replicate it any time he wanted, like in his fight with God and Satan.
So how do you put Spawn down for good? Well, you can't. At least Johnny and Zarathos could.
Unlike how Ghost Rider's soul has been vulnerable to attack before, like when Danny used the penance stare to depower
Yeah, but he
Johnny.
had the
This
power
sort of thing actually
before.
happens a lot, even in recent comics. The whole reason Johnny and Zarathos are bonded in the first place is because Zarathos' soul was manipulated by Mephisto.
And not only does Spawn have plenty of experience manipulating souls, he can replicate the effect of the penance
it.
stare itself.
That's what, as
And
soon as I
just
see
think
him
about
out, I
that. A penance
realised.
stare on Zarathos
I love that,
would mean
like,
he's feeling the pain from
cinematic
every
thing
penance stare
when,
that
he
he's
did
ever
the
done.
penance stare
The
back at
penance
him.
squared.
The damnation stare, on the other hand, actively helped Spawn, sending him to hell where he gets a literal infinite power
That was the
boost.
And it
stupidest
wasn't
thing
just
he
Spawn's
did.
soul powers that had spelled trouble. He had other ways to bypass Ghost Rider's immortality too, like transmutation, rewriting reality, or just straight up stealing his powers, which has worked on multiple Ghost Riders in the past.
Giving Spawn the final edge. Zarathos was almost unbeatable, a massive power advantage, soul destruction, immortality, but Spawn could
Spawn
counter
is far
everything thrown
weaker.
at him, and was
But
too
Ghost
unkillable
Rider
for
was
Zarathos'
incapable
strength
of
advantage to
killing
matter in
Spawn,
the long
and he
run
was far
against his
stronger.
crazier abilities.
Makes
That
sense,
was one hell of a
guys.
fight, and at least Johnny went out in a blaze of glory.
The winner is Spawn.
Next time
Alright, here we
on
go.
Death Battle.
Oh, I know this one. Shigaraki versus Mojito. Yeah.
Subscribe and join us.
Mojito. Oh, that's going to be sick of a fight. I can see that there because of Shigaraki's backstory is messed up. Which, if you haven't seen it, it really is. A very sad one. But we're not talking about that today. It was Ghost Rider versus Spawn. Who won? Spawn. But poor Ghost Rider, man. Put one hell of a show. And ended up getting his penance there back at him. You know what? I wish you could just do the battle where it's just like a kill, like, you know, fighting sort, rather than a cheat than doing it that way. But it was a wonderful battle. I loved it. So if you did enjoy it, guys, please head over to Death Battle to show your support by subscribing and liking the video. And yeah, with all that being said and done, bye bye for now.